We are 100% ETF, which is an awesome thing. And this is based on the post yesterday, guys, but I want to follow up and add some value for you guys today because I think this is going to be very helpful. So, with the move yesterday, basically, in a nutshell, if you haven't watched this, go watch this, but we moved all of my index funds to ETFs. The reason being is because we can automate our fractional ETFs over at Vanguard. So, we now can dollar cost average. Now, however, once I moved those over, which was yesterday, so it ended the trading day. As you guys know, you have to sell your index funds. That's part of the difference between ETFs and index funds. So at the end of the trading day, that move took place. This morning, I woke up with 100% ETF now. And so now, because my investments are in my account, now I can set up my automation. So what I did yesterday, as I moved things over, I canceled all of my automations for my index funds because those were no longer going to be a thing. And so that used to be a direct, let's call it a contribution I guess contribution into the account directly into the actual index fund itself. And it was just based on one move that you had to make. Now with this, what I realized, and I know Zach also brought this up because he had access to fractional ETFs like a couple weeks ago. He said, how do I make sure that it goes directly into the index or the ETF itself? And so I know where he was struggling and what's happening. So that's what this video is going to be addressing. So number one is when I was going to set up my automation, my $2,500 weekly buy that you guys all know into my taxable brokerage account, I got this message. And so basically what this is saying is payments will be debited from your funds available. So it used to be you could set up the automation to pull directly from your bank. And so there was no issue into the ETF. With this, you have to go from the funding source has to be your money market fund, which is your, let's call it your bank account within your investment account. And so you have to set up two automations. And so right down here, important note, payment will be debited from your funds available. So funds must be available in your account the day before your scheduled investment. And bank transfers may be scheduled separately. So what I did is on here, there's two different, you'll see the screenshots or when you pull these up. But Vanguard ETF schedule recurring purchases is number one. So this is the day that you want the actual investment to occur. You have to do, in accordance with this note right here, you have to make sure these funds are available in your account the day before the scheduled investment. So you have to make sure you set up a recurring bank transfer separately. This is exactly how Fidelity does it when I set up my HSA. So I have two separate automations theoretically, one from the bank to the actual account itself into the money market fund. And then on top of that, the money market fund into the actual fund itself. So from an order of priority standpoint, you want this bank transfer to come maybe 1 or 2 days before. I've set it up for 2 days before because I want to make sure the money's in the actual settlement account or settlement fund so that this triggers appropriately and there's no delay. So here's the actual example I'm going to use. So right here is my settlement. This is from my bank right here to my settlement fund of $2,500 on next scheduled is, this is an old screenshot, by the way. Give me a second. Let me get the new one. Okay, this is the updated screenshot with the updated date. So let me give you a walkthrough of exactly what we're doing. So every Friday, starting tomorrow, essentially 10/4, I want to invest into my funds, $2,500. Now, because this happened today, what I went ahead and did is do a manual contribution from my bank to the settlement fund so that my money is there by tomorrow when this processes. So I wanted to go ahead and take care of that this first time around because I set up the automation for tomorrow. Now, for going forward, starting next week, on Wednesday, every Wednesday, essentially, I want the money market fund to be funded from my bank. Okay, so this $2,500 is going to hit on 10/9, which is Wednesday, for my next purchase, which would be 7 days from here, which would be October 11th. So 2 days after this date, and then ongoing every single week. So the following week would be the 16th over here and the 18th right here. And then the following week, if you look at calendar, this would be the 23rd and this would be the 25th. And they'll just be staggered by each other. And that's all I have to do for each one of these automations. So we have like 4 or 5 automations set up within Vanguard specifically, and we basically did this for each one of them. So 2 days before is what I did is went ahead and funded the money market account across the board, every account. And then the day of, obviously, whenever I want my money to come out, I just make sure that's 2 days in advance into the actual ETFs themselves. I hope this helps, guys. I hope that was very direct and how you guys want to set this up going forward.